Why, hello there. Yeah, I got rid of his silly little hat. It's still there, don't get me wrong, but well, I decided, I made the executive decision to make this thing not look bad, but if you want to, put his hat back on, it's right here. He's storing it. Don't worry, it's not gone. Kind of need it anyway because we need sensors. Anyway, how y'all doing? What's new? I told you I had a special surprise. This isn't it though. I made it all pretty. She all looking great for the prom. I'll tell you what. Oh my goodness, look at that. But that's not the surprise. That is not the surprise. We're going to be painting this thing. We're going to be like getting it all down. Everything's set. And you know what? I didn't even do my intro. I didn't even do my intro. That's how excited I am. So, for those of you who don't know, I am Weasel X. How y'all doing? Hope you're having a great day. Let's jump into this. That's the surprise. I can't. I couldn't resist. Okay, now before we jump into all of this, let me explain a few things. One, this is like a showcase of all my stuff. This base was not built by me. Okay, and instead it was built, I believe, by NA Tech. Clef. I hope that's the person. I'm gonna like leave a link in the description for his stuff. So pay attention to that. Okay. And yeah, we're gonna be looking at quite a few things here. We're gonna start here and work our way all the way to the back, and eventually get into my carrier that turned out to be more of a cargo ship. But we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Until then, I wanna just jump right into this. So this right here is the F-25 TriStar, and I don't think I'm gonna finish this. I don't think it looks good. I don't know. I don't like it. It's too blocky. It's too square. And I decided, you know what? I'm not gonna do this. And I just left it. I did save it. Don't get me wrong. I did save it, and I'm like, maybe. Oh wait. Before we continue, because it's going to get dark here. I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe I might want to try and fix it up again. Maybe I might want to try and get it looking nice. It turns out there's not enough, there's not enough patience in the world for me to actually get this thing to look nice. It looks like a big giant block of cheese. I swear, it looks horrible. Oh, another thing. In the previous video, I noticed that I was actually breathing into my mic. Apologies for that. I'm going to try and prevent that this time. I've raised the mic up just slightly above my nose. So we're going to try that. We're going to see how that works. And, yeah. Because I know that's annoying. I don't like that. When I was listening to the video, I'm like, oh dear God. Like, all it is me going... And I'm like, yeah, no, let's not breathe into the mic. That'd be great. Okay, thanks. So, for those of you who haven't watched Excalibur's video, this is the Warspite, the K92 Warspite, and I'm retiring it. It looks nice. It looks amazing. It's too small. The problem with some of my earlier designs were that I built tiny. I built micro even. This thing was difficult to get in. Okay. And the specs on it were just god awful. Like, look at that. Look right there, right there. Left to right, up to down. The roll is atrocious. I mean, it was just, I don't know what I was thinking when I was building this. I just don't. I built more out of form than I did function, I think. And I think that's where I went wrong. It does have the X-wing pattern that I did like on this thing. And you'll see this in future builds, well, a future build in particular, where I just, was like, hey, you know what? Let's retain this style of wing. And it actually worked pretty good on, oh, gotta scratch my ear. Ah! It worked well in a previous build. So, or not previous build, a future build that you'll see in a second. Oh my god. Ah, sorry guys. Sorry. When hair enters your ear. Ugh. Just scratches my ear. So yeah, now this was disappointing. Absolutely disappointing. Burp. So, yeah, but this is nice. This is nice. Clef really made a nice little thing here. And it's an old build. It's a really old build. But it was built for showcasing. Showcasing vehicles. Not so much CVs, but I used the last one for a capital vessel because, well, I don't have a lot of SVs or HVs. So we're going to go walk over here, and this is the HT7 Curio. And as you can see, it's adorable. Again, this was back in the day when I built the Warspite, and I needed some hovercraft. And I think this works out okay. I think this is still viable. I don't think that this is a bad design by far. I've built worse designs. I mean, okay, yeah, no, it's pretty rubbish. But I think I can actually salvage this. I really do, or at least make a new HV. Give it a second go, So we'll see. This thing was difficult to get into and out of. Probably good for PvP, right? Because if someone's trying to enter your vehicle, well, they're not going to. You have to get on jump jets, and then you have to get up top, and it's right next to this stupid rocket launcher. So, yeah, I don't see that happening. I don't really see that happening. We're like, oh yeah, I'm going to jump on this here, and then I'm going to walk. Oh, there's a rocket launcher aimed at my face. So yeah, no, a good design though. I think I made it a little bit advanced too, where you could have at one point I did where you could actually have you could shoot through. There would be a half block here, and you could just shoot through it. So, gun ports. There you go. It had gun ports at one point in time. I think I sealed those up. But yeah, no. And it looks like, like something that would exist, right? So I think I might build that, rebuild this a little bit, make it whiter, and go from there. But yeah, no, I like the look of it. I like the design. I think it was a good design. I think I might trim the fat a bit. But yeah, no, I think this was a solid, good first start for an HV for me. And then we're going to go and talk about probably my favorite ship ever. We're going to go talk about my favorite ship ever. And you're going to think, oh, well, it's got to be your new designs then, right? No, we're not going to be talking about those new designs. Well, it's got to be the CVX in the background then, right? No. Ooh, it can't be that, and we already talked about these two things. What is it? Is it the Albatross? Because the Albatross was pretty decent. No. We're not going to be talking about the Albatross. We're going to be talking about a Tier 1 F-71 Worm. And this is my favorite ship that I have ever designed in the entire game of Empyrean. And it looked nice. It looked like, okay, everyone, I'm just going to tell you a story about this thing. I don't think I featured this in a YouTube video. I don't think I did. I don't remember if I did. If I did, apologies. My memories are gone. Poof, like my YouTube videos, all gone. This is my favorite fighter that I designed, built from the ground up. Because one, it was the first functional design that I ever built. And two, it actually looks pretty good. Okay, I describe it as a block with wings, basically. That's a fair assessment. But, I mean, the shaping around it, I think looks, the aesthetics and the coloring, as well as the texturing that I did, I think it looks really good. It looks like a decent fighter. It looks like an amazing fighter that you could take into battle. It looks like something that would exist in the future, for crying out loud. So I'm like, I was so happy to build, and this was like the first design that didn't look like crud. And the number one reason why this is my favorite design, I actually use this in Empyrean. Maybe not recording it, but yeah, I actually use this design in Empyrean. Um, and it did pretty well for a tier 1. Um, it did amazing. This was the day before CPUs, and this was the day before weight limits. So it was a pretty decent fighter. So when they brought in CPUs and when they brought in weight limits, I decided to bring this thing out from retirement and fix it up a little bit. And okay, yeah, the left and right are still pretty rubbish, but we're in double digits. So there's that. And, I mean, it's a tier 1. I'm not expecting much from a tier 1. Okay? So, yeah, no, this fighter is a pretty solid design. And it was the first one that I designed with rockets. So, yeah, no, it's a really... You could replace the rockets. And I think this is more like a tier 2 because it has rockets. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, right? Because, in the long run, it's at its heart a tier 1 because it has absolutely nothing beyond its rear thrusters that are actually really good. What's the yeah? So it's a pretty nimble little dude. Um, I like it. I like it a lot. So I fell in love with this thing. When I used it in my games. It was a tough little fighter. It has very little armor to speak of, but that's okay. Okay, that's okay. Um, it's a bit heavy, but so are all my designs. And it was using nothing but a bunch of maneuvering thrusters to get from point A to point B. A pretty solid design that I built from scratch. And I love this thing. I absolutely just adore this thing. I can't speak its praises enough because when I was taking on POIs, this thing was scrappy. I mean, it could take a hit and be like, oh, okay, I'm going to still shoot you. Boom, 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 boom. Ah, boom, 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 boom. So yeah, no, it was a pretty scrappy little fighter in the day. It did the job. For a tier 1, yeah, it was a good, solid design. And I can't wait to use this in the Let's Play video that I'm planning on making coming up. Oh my God. And I advanced it a little bit. I gave it more thrust. Um, I was testing out, let's see, oh yeah, on the bottom here, we now have cargo extenders. That's something new. Um, well, new for me. For everyone else, oh, those are like back in like 5 years ago. So where have you been? Like, okay, I haven't been around for a while. Hush up. So, the and I think it's got a CPU extender too. I think I added a CPU extender somewhere in here. So yeah. Um, So it's definitely tier 2. For all my designs, you'll notice that I like to design like something flat, and I like to put all the things in there, right? And just make a flat design. Um, I think there are two schools of ship design. One is to build blocks. Just build a giant block, and that's like the most efficient way of building things. The other is, well, okay, but you also want to make it look pretty. Well, that's where the flat design comes in. And that's what I think I'm known for fighters, just making flat designs now. And all of my future designs are based off of this one little fighter. Flat and sleek. And it still retains my favorite cockpit. I don't use any other cockpit in this game other than this. And if I'm going to make like, a fighter or an SV or anything like that, if I don't use this, well, that's where we're going to be talking about the Albatross. I'll be using this type of cockpit, which is like, a small little pilot's chair, you know, and make it just pretty much self-contained with blocks. And the Albatross was the next design right after the F-71 worm. So the Albatross was my way of thinking, you know what, I need to make a cargo and passenger hauler. How do I do that? And this is when weights were set to the extreme. I'm not even kidding. Like, they were set way too high when they first came out. And, like, the only way to get this thing to lift off with all of its weight and... Oh. No, okay, that's fine. And to do what it needs to do, right, I had to put these huge jet thrusters in. And these huge thrusters, they came with two arms, right? This arm and this arm over here. And they would help me lift this bloody thing up off the friggin' ground. So, when they, tweaked the values on, cargo and lift capacity and everything like that, this thing can now haul 870 tons. To put that into perspective, that is basically hauling an entire friggin' planet worth of points of interest, or POIs. This little SV can haul more than its share. Like, all you need is this. After you're done cleaning up all the weapons on that POI with the worm, just bring this in. They're like, okay, now that I'm done cleaning all that up, I'm going to bring this in. I need to do a running jump. There we go. Jump jets work too. But I've also upgraded this thing. It now has the CPU extender. It always had the shields, though. It always had the shields. Just in case. Hey, you know what? You didn't finish everything. And up top, you've got container extenders, throughout the top vessel, which allows you, if I can look at the cargo boxes here, yes, it's that. Really? Gonna have to look into that. Because I'm sure they're linked to something, but I'm not entirely sure what they are linked to. Yeah, this thing has a lot of cargo on it, so I would have to go through all these boxes, and there's just a lot here. There's a container. Like, okay. Yeah, no. Hmm. I don't know. Huh. We're gonna have to look into that. But it does have two constructors. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that. But still, like I said, I'm still learning how to do half this stuff because they've introduced, like, it's not the same game. It is not the same game than what it was like 2, 3 years ago. Okay, and that's just about the time when I started, stopped playing this game. About two years ago, I'd like to say about 2 years ago, a year to 2 years ago. Let's say that. So it's not the same game from what it was back then. Um, but let's power it up. Nope. Main power. There you go. And this is for the ramp. So we can close the ramp. See? And we also have spotlights. So I've got spotlight control. I like to add functionality into my designs. I really do. It's one of those things that I like to do. If you've ever seen, like, you'll see in the other designs that I've built that, yeah, no, I like adding stuff. So this is also for passengers. So you can fit 4 people with you if you want to. I really do like the Albatross. I'm sorry, I like it. It looks like a cargo hauler. So it's got like a bunch of cargo containers back here. It's got like little, ramp, little rails here so that the cargo doesn't go flying off. Yeah, no, it's such an amazing design that I put in here. I was so excited. Like, you have all these cargo boxes here, and oh man, I went all out I mean, the exterior looks bad, don't get me wrong, but yeah, no. So let me press G here. Yeah, no, it has enough lift and then some. So, does it have any weapons? I don't think it has any weapons. I think I was going to add like some Gatlings to it, and it's like, don't even bother. But you know what I could do? I could just add a turret for defense now. Because now they have defense turrets. So I could add that, actually. Actually, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. We're going to do that. We're going to pause the tour here. For like 2 seconds. I think we're going to put it right here. One here, and one here. There you go. And we're going to make them look like they actually belong there. There you go. There you go. So it's got 2 little defense turrets now. There you go. I like it. I like it. I think this is gonna... yeah, because the old design, it's supposed to have like 2 Gatlings jutting out, but I'm like, it's not supposed to be fighting anyway, so... right? Because it doesn't have any weapons. It does now. It has... oh, it does have Gatlings. Where the hell are they? Oh, never mind. Found them. Found them, you guys. Don't need these after all. Yeah, no, I forgot about that. I'm like, where's the cats? It says it has the cats. So we need to go pop, 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 pop. So yeah, no, it has 2 Gatlings. Not bad, not too shabby. Mostly for, drone defense, basically. Be like, oh, you're gonna attack me, huh? I don't think so. So, yeah, no. That is the Albatross. I'm planning on using that in Let's Play pretty soon. Now, for the moment you guys have been waiting for, but there is one honorable mention before we get into the main event. Well, the next two main events. This thing, the EV30 Small Boy. I made a little description here. Designed as an escape pod on CVs, these have short-term life support and are not intended as a combat SV in any capacity. And they, just like all my earlier designs, are a pain in the butt to get into and out of. See? So what you need to do is when you're here, you hit F, and now you're in. Now to get out, just blow out the windows, because you're not going to be able to get the hell out of here. Blow out the pilot vessel, blow out the windows. That's the only way you're going to be able to get out of here. It's the only way. You're going to be stuck for the rest of your life. Great escape pod, Weasel. Oh. Oh, they were designed to be small and compact. And like everything, small and compact is what you want to do when making an escape pod. This thing was designed so that it was in conjunction with the Victory class. That was a failed design. 100% failed design. It was a terrible design. It did not work as intended. I hated the dang thing. It looked ugly. It looked like a piece of crud on the inside. And there's no way that I could get that thing to actually look decent. So, I got rid of the bloody thing. But I kept the small boys, because these little EVs, well, you might need them. You might need them to escape. Just saying. Just saying. And they're not really big, so you can fit them in practically anything. Like, so long as it's big enough to hold something extremely tiny. Oh yeah, oh absolutely. Plop that in there, go boop, and out you go. You know. So this was yeah, this is a fun little design, and they work as intended. You don't need. I wonder. Devices, because I don't think you need. I don't think you need CPUs for these. Yeah, you don't. It runs on like a tier 1 CPU. I mean, look at that. 1988. This is as basic as it doesn't even have weapons. It is as basic gets. It is as tiny can get. This is the smallest SV that you can probably build for space travel. I'm not even kidding. Things are incredibly tiny. Each one will come equipped with an O2 tank, an RCS, a cargo box, and a fridge. There you go. Well, you'll have two O2 tanks and two RCSs and one fridge and one cargo box. That's it. That's it. Everything else is optional. Doesn't even have like a constructor. No constructor aboard whatsoever. So I hope wherever you put in your cargo box, one of those things is a portable constructor. Just saying. Just a heads up there. Okay, now let's talk about the new fighters. This I have not released to the store. The workshop. That little P there stands for prototype. Because it is a prototype. What is it a prototype of? This thing. Pretty much. Like the wing design and everything like that. And I think this actually looks a lot, a little bit sharper than this guy. In hindsight, I think it's definitely smaller though. And I just, like, if you guys want this out on the workshop, I will do so. I promise I will send this out to the workshop. I will give this to you guys on the workshop, but only via request. If I get enough requests, let's say 10 requests. That's, because my YouTube channel isn't that big, so I don't think 10 requests is beyond that. So if anyone's watching and you're a fan of my work and you want this out there, jump into the comment section right now. Be like, oh my God, we want this. Bring it out to the workshop, please. Oh, lordy, lordy. So what I'll do is I'll modify it so that you can actually use this in-game. It doesn't have that much in terms of armaments, so keep that in mind. It has one Gatling and one turret. That's it. What I could do is do what I did for this guy here and mess with the top part here just a little bit so that we could fit either Gatlings or rockets on. I could modify it. It won't be that hard to like. It might look a little janky, but I think we could do that. But again, this is just a prototype. It was a test bed for an idea that I had to actually have, a forward-facing cockpit with a rear-facing cockpit and having a turret in the back. This is just basically a platform for just that. And as you can see, it's minimal in design, quite minimalist in design, actually. I think it looks neat. Certainly didn't take me that much time to build. In fact, not that much time to build at all. And this design inspired me to make all my next designs. Even the TriStar over here, which, ugh. But the next fighter on the list is what this thing was based off of. The F-115 Excalibur. No, it's not named after Excalibur, the Empyrean YouTuber, Twitch streamer, community guy. I don't know. I'm not sure what his official title is. I just love his YouTube videos. He's great. So let's say community specialist. I'll give him the title community specialist. Community specialist Excalibur. I really do admire his work, even though I do find his designs slightly blocky. I do admire his work, and he does design some amazing SVs, HVs, CVs. His stuff is high tier, definitely. And I love his videos. In fact, he's probably the reason why I came to Discord in the first place. I'm not even kidding. Like, he's the reason why I took the plunge into I wouldn't touch Discord with a 10-foot pole until, like, him and Spange were like, oh yeah, go to the Discord. Meet us on the Discord. And I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. So he inspired me to actually break out of my shell and go to Discord and take the plunge there. And, yeah, I've been developing Empyrean ships and, having a gale time in Empyrean ever since. So, yeah, no, he and Spange both really did influence me quite a bit. And I don't think you'd have these ships without them, and without them influencing me the way that they have. So, yeah, no, I highly recommend, you check out Excalibur's channel. He also has, he does Twitch streaming too, so check him out there. I'm going to provide a link to his stuff, even the Discord, because, if you guys like my stuff, you guys are going to love his stuff. Like I said, all his stuff is high tier. So I've got nothing but praise. I swear to God, I've got nothing but praise for the guy. So anyway, we're going to talk about this thing. No, this was not named after Excalibur. This was just I thought it looked like a really cool sword, you know, as in this was like the, you know, the hilt, and this was like the thing that, you know, you slash with, basically. So that's why I named it as such. The ray, it looked like a stingray, so I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna just call it the ray. So that's why I named it as such. But yeah, no, this actually was designed as a functional design, and okay, the roll is kind of, but it, yeah, left, right, up, down. That was a pain in the butt to build, but this is one of the first designs where I have power settings. Okay, so let's it's landing, that's main thruster. Let's turn that off. Okay, okay, so when you turn this on, it should be like this. Pretty much. Lights off, shields off, turrets off, thrusters off, pilot mode off. Turn on your power. Okay, so landing thrusters, you've got like nothing. And it's designed as such because the engines in the back give it a lot of power. An awful, awful lot of power. Same with this design, but I didn't bother to actually make any power settings for it. So when landing, you're gonna want this. You're definitely gonna want this because this is going to minimize the amount of thrust that you have on your ship. And I still need to do some minor tricking. I might take this one off and this one off because I think it turns too fast. But I did that so that you can actually rotate the bloody thing. Otherwise you'd be picking up your mouse every 5 seconds. I didn't want to do that. So for landing, taking off, use landing thrusters. Okay. And then with this on, still on, what you want to do is go for main thrusters. Now that's going to turn on your main thrusters here. Your forward and your back thrusters. Okay, so that's going to give you the power that you need and the maneuverability that you need. That turns on pretty much every single thruster, almost. Almost. And if you look at the stats, you could see, okay, 28, 28, 29, 32, 20. Not bad. But when in war mode, okay, that's when it brings out all its guns. Now there is one design flaw that I still need to work on for this thing that I neglected to do, and that is to add a pentaxid tank because I didn't know you needed a pentaxid tank for shields. I didn't know. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know. No one told me. So right now the shields don't work. It's a huge flaw, but I think I might put it here, standing up. So, in fact, that's not a bad idea. No one told me. I just assumed if you have power, because, you know, back in the ye olden times, that it would turn on the shields. No, you need pentaxid. Oh, thanks. Thanks for letting me know. So there you go, one pentaxid tank. Now, this thing doesn't have any jump capabilities whatsoever. Oh, you know what? Really should be using that. So it's not going to be, it's not designed to go from point A to point B, you know, to warp throughout the system. It's just, you know, it's designed to be carried. Ah. Simply designed to be carried. No warp capabilities whatsoever. Which led me to build my third design. And you know what? Let's just talk about the shaping here. I like the shaping. These dual thrusters that I designed really do work. And again, where do you see dual thrusters in another design? You see it in the S01. Right here. A dual design right back there. So that's what I took from it. Where do you see the regular cockpit? That I use for all my designs. Right here. Right here. Those are the two things that I took from it. A main thruster, body, right here. And we've got two of them. So as far as advanced designs, I would say that these fighters that I've built, advanced designs. Shaping on all of the armor around, the encasing around the thrusters, the nacelles, if you will. Yeah, no, looks really good, I think, in my own opinion, I think, the only thing that I don't like is this. I might one day might actually go back into the design and change this a little bit, but other than that, it's a pretty nice design. And you could see underneath, right? The red shines through, and here you go. You have like a little maintenance port right here, and that's carried on to one of my favorite designs so far. Granted, I don't like how the landing pads stick out a bit, but there's always going to be something. The only reason why I had to have the landing pad stick out is because the wings were in an X shape, and that, yeah, I had to have an X-wing. I had to have an X-wing. Anyway. But you see this X-wing in what other design? The Warspite. We've got the dual nacelles from the previous 3 designs. This was built after I made the TriStar. So I gave up on the TriStar and built this instead. And it's got like a little nice hangar for weapons. So this is like a weapons pod right there. There you go. Yeah, no, it's a really solid design, I think. And stat-wise, it's actually pretty decent. 35, Roll is kind of crap. Well, hold on. Do I got all thrust? Yeah, I got all thrust. So roll is kind of crap. But, I mean, it's a heavy boy. And honestly, you don't need maneuverability when you have shields. So, it's like, when you have shields and enough firepower to level a small city block, you don't really need maneuverability as much. I mean, you literally have 4 Gatlings. 2 railguns, 2 homing rockets, I might add. You don't need, at that point, you do not need, maneuverability so much as you just need to decimate your targets. Keep your eye on the target, and it does, for its credit, have a better left to right thrust ratio than a previous design, which 2. So the roll rate on this one is better, but this one has better left to right maneuverability and up and down maneuverability, whereas this suffers up and down. Well, I mean, for down rating, it's about the same, but for up, not so much. How much could this haul? Oh, 175. 226. So yeah, it can also haul more, and that's because of the size 3 jets that I put in there. So there you go. I was using all the creative energies that I could for this one fighter. It's got a shield. It's got a warp drive. And if you look underneath here, you can see the warp core right there sticking out, jutting out a bit. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I like it. I think this is one of the better designs that I've come up with, and I'm proud to announce. Look, you even have like an exhaust, a maintenance exhaust port right through here. You know. So it's like, okay, okay. See where you're going here. So yeah, I love this design. I can't wait to use it in the game. It's like a tier like 25 fighter though, so just keep that in mind. It's one of those endgame fighters. I don't think you're going to be seeing this anytime soon in your game. But if you get to that point where you can actually use this thing, I suggest I suggest testing it out, seeing how it does. Oh man, this and this made because this is like the most popular design for the week on the workshop, and I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of it. Oh, I'm so happy with this design. Everything turned out right. Like small details for the shaping turned out amazing. Like if you look at that. Look at that. Oh my god, like I was so happy to come up with this. I love this design. I'm sorry. I love this design. And this design philosophy is going to be carried on to, I think, next gen designs too. I'm looking into building a fighter that changes up this, this formula slightly. And that's going to be in an upcoming Let's Build that I'm going to announce. And it's going to be one of these fighters, but with a single engine. What? Yeah. I'm thinking of in terms of my design philosophy here. Building this, right? And putting one of these engines hanging on one of these kinds of hangers and just raising that hanger up so that it's just holding, right? It's just holding the engine nacelle to the body of the craft. Right? So this top part here, you see that's all decked out in black. That's holding these two weapon mounts here. Well, it's basically a weapon mount. I'm thinking of turning the weapon mount into an engine mount, basically, and having the engine hang off on this thing. So there you go. Oh, and I forgot to show you guys one thing about my designs. So let's. Oh, does this thing have? It doesn't have fuel. There you go. So here we go. When you turn on shields, your shields are now on. See that? Shields. But it also turns on the lights. So basically this blue light indicates it's not a light indicator. It basically wraps your ship in a blue light, and that blue light is your shields. That's cool. Like, that's cool. It's like, so your ship is wrapped in a blue light, and that blue light is your shields. I know I repeated myself. I don't know how I thought of that. It was just an idea that I had on this thing. Right? Shield control. See, that does it too. This thing doesn't have shields, so it can't do that. But yeah, no, it wraps your ships in a bluish light, and that bluish light is just your shields. And it's so amazing. It's a stroke of genius. I love it so much. So we're gonna, yeah. But now we're going to go on to the main event. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I give you the one, the only, the incomparable, the infallible, the amazing, the grand poobah, the super duper, the fantabulous. I could go on forever, guys. Desperado CVX. Now, keep in mind, this is still an early build. Some rooms still are not built, especially the main room in the back. So keep that in mind. Let's make sure that this thing has enough power. So we're gonna do a tour of it. Yeah. Again, shaping. Like, I'm getting really good at shaping. I'm not kidding. I'm getting really good at shaping. Look at that. Look at that. Just, it's amazing. Now, this was based off of a ship that I saw in Dual Universe. I'm like, I wonder if I could build something like that. And I tried before, and I completely failed. But I decided to take a second stab at it. And lo and behold, there we go. Part of it was that I was double stacking the hangar doors, one on top of the other, and that made the craft look just absolutely ridiculous. But using a single one and using a single wide one actually helped quite a bit in this endeavor. So it helps shape the entire craft. When you build just one door, you don't need two doors. You don't need one stacked on the other. You don't need to do any of that stuff. And when I realized that, it's like, oh, then I just need to do my shaping. And there you go. And this has something similar. If you noticed in my previous builds, it has my favorite design for thrusters, which is these slanty bits right here, hanging off the side in the center in a central structure to keep this ship afloat. Now, because I use large thrusters, the game is punishing me. So when you look at statistics, yeah, this is yeah. And it's all because of those large thrusters. Right here. You see that? You see that? 2 million. 2 million. 2 million. Of course, I think the CPU stats are broke in this game. Tier 1 is like 200,000. Okay. Tier 3 is 500,000. So what? Only 300,000 more? Why? Did I say tier 3? I meant to say tier 2 is 500,000. Tier 3 is 1,500,000. You see how much this is, right? This should not be a tier 4 CPU. But because the CPUs are puckered and designed in such a way to punish you for using large thrusters, it's like, and I didn't even use the extra large thrusters. I used the large thrusters. Okay, here's the thing, Elian. I'm speaking directly to the developer here. I'm begging you. 200,000? Okay, fine. Here's what I would do. I would do 500,000 right here. I'd do, like, let's try 1 million. Let's just give me 1 million. Just give me 1 million. Hell, you know what? Give me 1,500,000. Make this that. Okay? And make tier 3. Make tier, like, I don't know, like 500,000. There you go. Here you go. 500,000, 2,500,000, and 5 million, and 10 million for the insane builds. Could we do that? Could we have that? Because I could probably trim this down, right? But with this, there's no way I can trim it down. And you're punishing me. Or even better yet, come out with new thrusters and lower the CPU requirements for these large thrusters. That might be better. So that way you don't have to go. No. Instead of doing that, just lower this. Like, lower this. Okay, these are CVs. CVs. You're going to need thrust to push these guys up. I can't use medium thrusters. I can't use those medium thrusters for a CV like that. I'm having such a hard time with it. But that's just me. Like I said, they punish you for using large thrusters. Okay, fine. Besides, these things look nice. I can't stop using them. They look so nice. They look sweet as candy. I mean, maybe I don't need them. Let's say this. Let's argue for the sake. Maybe I don't need them. Okay, fine. But you can't deny that they look cool, and I kind of want to add them just because they look cool. You know what I'm saying? So maybe just lower the requirements and come out with like a tier 2 large thruster and a tier 2 extra large thruster. Hashtag just saying. Anyway, let's go in here. Oh, let's look at the weapons. There are not too many weapons because this is a light carrier. So it has a cannon, 1, 2, trays, Gatling guns. And it has a flak gun in back. That's it. So, yeah, no, it's not heavily armed. I might add a shield onto it, actually, now that I think about it. And these lights, this is the dumbest thing ever. I'm going to cover this as a tutorial series where it's like just, you know, a 5-second tutorial video, you know. But, yeah, no, this took me forever to actually figure out how to do. And I feel so stupid because it took me forever to figure out how to do. Hashtag I'm a dumbass. No, it's so simple. I'll show you how to do it. So yeah, in case you get invaded, and some of you are going to be like, well, that's stupid. Your core is going to be destroyed at that point. So they're not going to come at you until they destroy your core, okay? Okay, fine. No, I can see that. Here's the thing, though. There's a reason why I put these here. And there's a reason why in all my designs I have backups. So, I'm going to explain something. Your core is typically in your engine room. Oh, this is a bridge, by the way. And look at that. Look at how nice that looks. Right? You even have a see-through floor. I mean, how many ships have a see-through floor for their bridge? Not too many. I'm still working on this, so again, this is a work in progress. You see that? See this right here? This is where you're going to be putting your backup core. Let's see. Yeah, you can put a backup core in here. Let's press H for a second. Let's just press core. There we go. So I'm going to grab one of these. Costs 31 volume. So even if this wasn't this, grab your core, plop it in, you've got a core. So I say that, and we skipped a bunch of stuff, because in order to get to the bridge and to kill you, they're going to land their vessel here. And all of a sudden, these guns are going to turn on. It's going to decimate his ship. So he's going to have no place to run until he blows this door. Say he manages that, or say his ship manages to beat off these 3 in here. He's going to have to go through these 2 sentries. Say he manages to do that. He's going to be fighting more of these little things. Same on this door. and a blast door. On either side. See how I have blast doors? Yeah. Yeah. And then he gets through that. You got 1, 2 trays, sentry guns. At this point, he's just fed up. Right? And another set of blast doors. And these are the final blast doors to get through. Before finally coming here, if he manages to get through all of that, all of it, every last one of them. Again, I'm going to be putting stuff here, don't worry. Then at that point, I think he deserves to actually get through to your engine room. Like, there's just, yeah, no, you win. Congratulations. You done did it. You done did it at that point. But you would have to go through like a bloody friggin' gauntlet at that point just to get from point A to point B. Oh yeah, I did put a shield in. Okay, nice. So there you go. Yeah, nice. This is the ship in a shell. And it's got an engine room. I don't know if I talked about the engine room. It's got my standard style to it. Although this one's a bit more bulky. I don't know if I like that. Might change that up a bit. But you know, it's got a warp core. It's got your power that you need. It's got fuel tanks. Pentaxid tank hanging off the side. Yeah. I like to dress up engine rooms a bit. You got your O2 tanks hanging out. See, there you go. You're going to be breathing in irradiated O2. I hope you enjoy that. Yeah, cheers. But yeah, no, it's going to look nice. You're going to have crew quarters in here. You're going to have a med lab in here. You know, there you go. It's going to be one of those things where you're going to have like just basic stuff. Nothing really too noteworthy. You're going to have like a secondary engineering compartment right here. Maybe a dining hall. I don't know. Probably a dining hall. I'll probably make a dining hall here and then make a secondary engine compartment here. But yeah, no, that's the design. It's still a work in progress. It will be released to the workshop, I guarantee you, soon. So yeah, I think this video has gotten a little bit long. I think we're going to cut it off here. So what do you guys think? Oh, shoot. You know what? We were supposed to paint this thing. You know what? We're going to do that in the next video. Sorry, guys. We're going to do that in the next video. I was going to do it, but then that kind of took like a long time to explain all my stuff. So you know what? We're going to do this in episode L30 because, yeah, I think we need to do it in episode L30. What do you guys think? Yeah, I think this video's gotten too long. So there you go. We're going to do this in the next video. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't think this was going to take too long. But yeah, my name is Weasel X, and I will catch you on the next video. Take care, guys.